What's happening, y'all? What's happening, y'all? What's good, everybody? Sorry I am late. I don't know what was going on with my headphones. It's still acting a little crazy right now too, but at least it's working a little bit better. At least I can hear something, but I don't know why I can't hear everything right now. So I'm still trying to figure it out. Literally as I'm going. But what's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good, Joseph? I'm first, but I'm probably not going to see because I'm doing Bible study 8 p.m. So if you still be here by 9 p.m., I'll call. I bet we probably will be. Not exactly sure, though, because I'm just working on some videos. So it depends. Like, if there's a bunch of callers all the way through there, then maybe we'll go all the way through. But we'll see. And when in doubt, I may do another live stream during the week because I know some people can't necessarily make it Monday night all the time. So we may do another one at some point later on, especially because this past week was so bad. There's so much to talk about. What's good? Calvin was good. I know Calvin said he's pulling up. Valerie was good. I know Ism Gamer 2K was good. Everybody. Q Wilson was good. Mr. Jones, King Sean was good. What's good, everybody? Aaron, Jack Miller. Bro, we were just bad everywhere. Special teams, defense, offense, the whole thing. Now, there's a pecking order. There's an order of how bad we were. And, you know, certain things we were worse. But, man, it was bad everywhere. It was bad absolutely everywhere. What's good, Free Smoke? Komodo King was good. Made me feel the most sick I've got since man, get well soon. A lot of problems. But it starts and ends with Ron Rivera. I hear that. What's good? What's good? Abel, what's good? What's good? There's else things, but we can bounce back. Yeah, I mean, we're 1-1. It's not the end of the world. We're 1-1. There's a lot of 0-2 teams out here that are actually, I mean, better than us on paper. They just ended up with a bad schedule. Like the Raiders. The Raiders are 0-2 right now, and they play really good teams really well. But, you know, that Cardinals. First of all, this whole weekend that just passed was the most confusing what is going on weekend of football I can remember. There were at least 6 games that's just like, what is going on? What's good, Mark Paul? What's good, Red Wings? What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? About to open the phone line soon, but I'm just trying to make sure I can hear everything before I do that. Let me see. Desktop. Maybe it stopped doing it. Let me see. Desktop, audio. Gonna do same as system. Nah, that didn't work. Didn't work. Let's try that. Try that. I don't know. Everything's acting a little weird today. Let's see. I did that. That didn't work. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go to my own video to test it out. This is what I was doing behind the scenes. And it looked like it was getting better, but apparently it's still a little weird. Let me see. But that, yeah, I can hear myself. Okay, that works. So then it's this app. It's the app thing. Let me see. New version available. Maybe that's the problem. Let's go ahead and update that. What's good, man? As a fan base, we are tired of having an unprepared team that comes out flat when we expect the most. What's good, Smack City? Yeah, that's just so disappointing because I still, even after that game, I feel like we're still the better team on paper, and I feel like talent for talent, especially with as hurt as they were, we were the better team on that field. You could say talent-wise.
You are the only participant
in the
conference.
It just didn't show at all. Okay, there we go. Yep, it just needed to be updated. We're good now. Oh, yep, goes the stupid song. There goes the stupid song right there. Go ahead and end that. Terrible weekend of football. Watch the L, and we couldn't even clown on Dallas for losing either. Yeah, the Bengals folded. That was terrible. I was extremely disappointed in the Bengals failing the way they did. I just don't even know. I don't even get that. And I was watching the game, and I still can't explain why that happened. What happened for them to be that bad against the Cowboys that literally have nothing left? With Cooper Rush. I mean, they have injuries everywhere, too, to their receiving core. Cooper Rush run at quarterback. It's ridiculous. You should play the fight song just because we lost. Nah, man. All right, let me go ahead and open up the phone lines. Man, ever since I came back from New York, a lot of stuff's been, like, weird and not necessarily broken, but, like, a lot of stuff just needed updates. You would swear I was gone for a year. I'll go weeks in a row without needing an update for any of my programs. I leave for a week and a couple of days, come back, all of my programs need updates. A couple of them I had to YouTube how to fix them. Like, I don't know what happened while I was gone. Maybe my house got EMP'd. I don't know. But yeah, man, I'm opening up the phone lines for whoever wants to call in. How did the Ravens choke their lead, bruh? Now, that was, bruh, this was a really entertaining weekend. I still don't know how to explain what went down this weekend. I don't. If y'all could tell me, please tell me, because the Cardinals-Raiders game, even our game to an extent where we started to come back and then, you know, silliness happened. The Ravens, Dolphins. It was a few games. It was like 5 or 6 of them where it was like, this is a really weird, unique weekend. Oh yes, sir. We got my boy Calvin in the building. What's good, Calvin?
What's going on, Rico? How you doing, baby?
What's good? What's good? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. So look, this is what I gotta say, man. And everybody hear me out, man. So this is Ron Rivera's 12th year of coaching in the NFL. He has three winning seasons out of 12. Okay, and I get it. Everybody, we're terrible on defense. Everybody wants to blame Jack. Scott Turner's so daggone inconsistent with his play calling. But ultimately, like I told you last week, you're not going to hear me say their name. It's always going to be Ron Rivera's fault. He's not a good coach. He's really not, Rico. He's not a good coach. Chase Roulier is probably out for the season, and we literally don't have another true center on the roster. Forget all this stupid wordplay he be talking about, position flex. That's a cop-out. We do not, hey, Rico, real talk, we don't have another true center on the roster. Man. We have guys that he's filling in. So, and think about this, y'all. Ron Rivera has total control of who comes in on this team.
Very true.
It's not a Jack Del Rio. Yeah, it's not a Del Rio thing. It's not Scott Turner. Ron Rivera has total control. So when Ron Rivera tells us that Cole Holcomb can switch to the middle linebacker, guess what? He doesn't want to go out there and spend money on a competent a true middle linebacker. He doesn't want to do that because he sees, oh well, I think they can do it. But guess what, Rico? They can't do it. So guess what's happening? What's happening right now, Rico, is Detroit ran right at John Allen and Deron Payne. Ran right at him. But the Lions knew from watching the tape that our linebackers don't know how to shoot the gap. And on top of that, they do not know how to get off of blocks. So Ron Rivera, his stupid press, I can't stand listening to him. We got to play better. No, Ron, you got to get better players. Because, Rico, I'm telling you, bro, these players, they're not good. Cam Curl, he might be one of our better players, but he's not that good. Now, he will be a spark for us. But we can't keep hyping up Cam Curl as if he's a daggone Derwin James or something. He's not. He's not that type of guy.
Yeah, he's just lacking athleticism. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Rico, really what we're lacking in, we truly lack in player personnel talent on defense. We do not have it. Jackson's not it. Fuller's not even fast enough. So think about this. If Ron Rivera is all about scheme and leverage and all stuff, do you know how smart Kendall Fuller has to play because he don't even have the speed? He's getting burnt every game. You know what I'm saying? So we just don't have the players. So everybody that's saying, oh, Jack got to go, I'm not saying that he has to go or he doesn't. All I'm saying is we don't try to hype these players up like they're actually good when we really don't have a good roster on defense. We don't. So we got to be realistic. I mean, it's only game 2. There's 14 games left. I'm not, but this is the thing. This defense is going to continue to be like this because we don't have the players, Rico. And that's just real talk. It is.
I appreciate
that. That's all I got, man.
Oh, yeah, also, I remember, because last week you hit me up on Twitter about Jamin Davis. Before you go, I just wanted to ask you, did you want to talk about that real quick, get your thoughts out there on the Jamin Davis situation, too? From last week, not this past week.
Oh, yeah. From last week?
Yeah, from the Jaguars.
Oh, this week. Yeah.
Well, this week, too. Honestly, this week, too, if you saw any improvement or anything.
So this is what I'll say. I did see improvement, but once again, I think he's out of his element, honestly. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Rico, everything I say about the players, it's not attacking them personally. It's just that he wasn't a first-round guy. He wasn't even really. Hey Rico, think about this. When you see the tape, because I know you watched all 22. When you see the tape, he was more like a 4th or 5th round guy. Maybe you could say 3rd, maybe. But when you watch the tape, it's just like, wow. But guess what? He's good at blitzing. You know why he's good at blitzing? Because that's what he did a lot at Kentucky.
Yep.
That's what he did a lot of. So when we say, oh, man, he does good on the blitz, well, that's what he was strong at Kentucky. He wasn't strong with coverage. He wasn't strong with stopping the run, but he was strong at blitzing. So yeah, I saw a better Jamin this week, but I just don't think
he's not a first round pick.
He's not, man. He's really not. And I no, like I said, no shade on him. I just don't think he's it, honestly. I think we need to get cornerbacks next draft and linebackers. And honestly, the priority has got to be a middle linebacker. But I'm gonna tell you, cornerbacks ain't far behind it.
Yeah, and it was hilarious is that we felt that way about this draft going in this past draft.
I know. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man.
We let Chad Muma go to the Jags. The Jags took two of them. The Jags got Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd. We let them take both of them. We couldn't get one. But
once again, y'all, hey, look, everybody that's on the line on YouTube, I'm telling you, this is not a Del Rio thing. It's not a Scott. And last thing, Rico, because I know I'm over my 3 minutes. Last thing.
Yeah, you good.
This is what I want everybody to realize, okay? Now, yeah, the offensive scheme, I'm like, yo, what is he doing? You know they play plus man coverage, right? And you're playing, remember, in the first half, Carson was doing a 7-step drop. So if they're playing press man, dog, where are your quick plays so they can't get to Carson?
That's what I was wondering.
So
they were blitzing.
They were exactly. So you got to do some drag routes, a quick screenplay or something. But this is the thing though. The reason why I'm not blaming whatever Scott Turner is because when they came up with this game plan, Scott Turner, guess what? Ron Rivera had nodded his head. Oh yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is the scheme we need to play. Hey, Rico, get what I'm saying now?
Yeah,
so,
everything does run through Rivera. Everything runs through him.
Exactly. So if Scott Turner came out with that offensive scheme, Rivera should be like, bro, what are you talking about? They play press man. They're going to blitz us. No, we need quick plays coming out the gate. But guess what? Ron Rivera didn't say that. So Ron Rivera was okay with the offensive scheme for the first half. And the last thing, it doesn't take a half going into halftime to change your scheme.
Yeah,
if we don't know how to change within the quarters, we're going to have a long season.
You would think we're not allowed to talk on the sideline or something. Like, we got to wait to the locker room to discuss gameplay. It's always a halftime thing.
Exactly. We in trouble. If that's how we do, we in trouble.
I agree.
That's it, man. Hey, I apologize for taking up too much time, y'all.
Now, you good. I mean, you said you were done, and I asked you a question, so you good, man. But, man, I appreciate that. My boy Calvin, man.
Always, man.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Later.
All right, before we move on to the next caller, I wanted to shout out my boy Matthew. Appreciate the donation. He said, hi, Rico. Thanks for all you do. JDR will be done and should be after this year. But are we sure our defensive roster is that great? I don't. Basically saying what Calvin Johnson said, where it's like maybe there's some Jack Del Rio, but there's also some personnel issues as well. It's not all Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio can take some of the blame, but it's not all his fault. But yeah, man, what's good, Matthew? Appreciate the donation. And also my boy Joe Castle's always pulling up and donating. Appreciate that. Hey, bro, I feel like Jack isn't using the right scheme for a 3. He has players out of position. Appreciate that, man. I think like all of the answers are right. Like Jack Del Rio is at fault, but it's definitely not all his fault, because even sometimes when he has guys in the right position, they don't perform. They miss a tackle. They're not playing coverage tight enough, or they completely just miss an assignment. The play where DeAndre Swift fell down and still found a way to get a touchdown out of it, that was somebody's job to literally cover him outside of the backfield. That was like a complete breakdown in play. That wasn't like somebody wasn't fast enough, or it was a complete missed assignment. Somebody, probably Jamin Davis, not exactly sure. It's really hard to tell when you look at the all-22. You kind of got to be in there with them as they're discussing it or something like that, maybe like in the locker room to know. But like somebody missed their assignment on that play. So it's just like, again, a lot is Jack Del Rio's fault, but it's not all of it. But yeah, man, I appreciate the donation. Let me go ahead and move on to the next caller. We got Jack up next. We have 3 callers on the line. Let's get it. What's good, Jack?
Hey, man, what's going on, Rico?
What's good? What's good?
Can't complain. I mean, I can, but feeling better after that absolute mess of a game. Yeah, there's a lot that I could get into, and I only have so much time for it, and I'm sure the rest of the callers will pair this coaching staff and this team a new one anyway, so I'll start with a couple positives. I thought Jamin played better this time around, but this is my problem with him. He keeps making the same mistakes every time. Like, so remember, so you know that play where they, Goff got out to, DeAndre Swift, and he was just taking a, nap in the sauna for like 5 minutes, and then he finally decides to get up, and he like almost scores a TD.
Yeah, he got
would have
comfortable.
been
He
one
was
of Swift's tips. Yeah, like. So I was watching Louis T earlier, and he was like, well, Jamin and Cole Holcomb both decided to, blitz Goff. They both hit the A gap, and well, what Jamin should have done was, man up with Swift, because that would have been his guy. And he said he did the exact same thing in the preseason against the Chiefs, and that play stood out to me. I think I talked about it before, but he hesitated for a second before he decided to blitz Mahomes that time, and he gave up a touchdown on it. He should have been on the running back, but he just whiffed on it, and so he just keeps doing that all the time. And like, I think that's one thing that he's just got to work on, because I think he can get better at it. But I mean, I understand what Ron and Jack are coming from when they're just saying, like, when they're like showing their frustration here, because they're like trying to tell them the same thing over and over, and it just doesn't seem like it's clicking with them. But man, did you see that post you made on Instagram?
Oh, about Jamin Davis
earlier?
with the stop critiquing me thing?
Yeah. Man, that was, not gonna lie, that one was pretty funny, but not the best optics with the way he implicitly portrayed his coaches. So, but yeah, but I don't know if that's the best way to respond to criticism, but it's one way. But
yeah,
you definitely answered to it in some way, because that first sack on Goff, man, that was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Another thing, Wentz, he's looking like the truth, man. He's looking pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, he did his thing. When they got going, he was going.
Yeah. I mean, I wish he took his, more. I wish he didn't take us till the second half to do it, but, and my patience is running a little thin with this coaching staff. Not as much with Scott Turner, because I do like his creativity, and I think he can get the most out of this offense. But, I mean, the fact that it took him a whole half to, like, change up the scheme, I mean, but a lot of people want to blame Gibson as well for just not being able to, establish the run, but he had like no gaps to shoot at all. I mean,
I agree.
The line was just giving him no help at all. The line was giving Carson no help. They were probably the biggest culprits in this absolute catastrophe.
Agreed.
The defense, okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is interesting, because Amon-Ra St. Brown in the post game, you know what he said?
Yeah.
So when they went back and watched the tape of our defense, he said, like, we looked at them and we noticed that these guys just can't, just really struggle with bunches.
Yep.
So when you saw Amon-Ra take that, that jet sweep or that reverse, and William Jackson just completely whiffed on it, he was like, I was shocked by how well we just duped them. Like, that worked even better than I ever could have thought. And I was like, yeah, it's like he looked like he had what was he even looking at? He's just not smart enough right now. He's just not smart enough for the zone scheme, Willie Jackson.
Yep.
He can't do it. And I look at Kendall Fuller, and he's getting torched all the time because he's just not fast enough anymore. And man.
It is a debacle right now. I think we can recover. I definitely don't think the season is over.
Yeah,
but that was a good game to show us our weaknesses. Like, hey, y'all need to fix this type of thing.
Yeah. All right. You got your slice of humble pie. I'll bounce back. Yeah.
Exactly.
One more thing.
All right.
So that defense. I don't know if you saw the news yet, but the defensive tackle we got from the Cowboys. What was it? John
Ridgeway. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I really liked him, man. I really liked him coming out. I actually really wanted to draft him in the later rounds before we got Mathis. He's not as good as Mathis, but he's a hell of a lot better than Donovan Jeter. I can tell you that. He's big. I mean, he's big and he's strong, man. He will just throw offensive linemen to the ground. That's what he does. So he doesn't really offer much as a pass rusher, but I really like what he does in run defense. He's just a big, stout guy. Yeah, I think he kind of is a band-aid for the D-line depth. I kind of wish if we had him and then Mathis was still healthy, I would really like the depth on the defensive tackle, but
good point.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a good pickup. Definitely one of the smarter moves we've done thus far. All right. Yeah. Oh, Jahan Dotson, Rookie of the Year.
Yes, sir.
Agenda.
On the way.
It continues. Yes, sir. And I called him. I was one of those people who called him a reach. I didn't think he was an egregious reach, but I thought he was a reach when I got him. But I'm like, all right, now this guy's a dog. All right, he's legit.
I agree, man.
The guy.
I wanted Jamison Williams so bad. I was so upset. But Jahan Dotson, man, I'm so happy that we have him. But man,
I was actually I was actually over the weekend. I was actually tailgating at West Virginia because my brother goes there, and I actually ran into a guy who was like, I think he went to high school with Jahan, and he just told me like he's like the hardest working, just lion-hearted dude you'll ever meet, and it was like, all right, yeah, he's a guy. He's a dog. Yeah, man, I love him now.
Another Terry person off the field wise, another Terry. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate that, Jack. Yes, sir, man. Definitely make sure you call back next week if you can.
Yes, sir. All right, you take care, man.
You too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me bring my boy VA Money Group on. How you doing over there, VA Money Group? What's good? Hello, you there? VA Money Group, you there? Going once, going twice.
Yo.
Okay, but I was gonna say I'll keep you on the line and come back. But you made it back just in time. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? I think the first caller, I think his name was Calvin. He took a couple of my points, man, and I feel like he was spot on. Every time I call here, man, reoccurring theme: Ron Rivera's regimes are incompetent when it comes to player personnel. We now have had the same problem for going on 3 years, and not 3 years, but 2 years that we don't have linebackers. And what makes it so crazy is that our linebacking core has gotten worse. We've gone from KPL and Cole Holcomb, KPL, and a couple other veteran guys to just Cole Holcomb. You get what I'm saying? And Jamin Davis is not a linebacker in this league. Hold on, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so Jamin Davis is not a linebacker in this. He's not an NFL linebacker. I couldn't tell you what he is, but he's not an NFL linebacker. I could have told you that the first preseason game of his rookie year. I could have told you that. Like, there's certain characteristics that when you see a player with those characteristics, you know that, like, you look, each linebacker has certain characteristics. Jamin Davis does not have linebacker characteristics, right? Period. I'm not even going to expound on that. He is not an NFL linebacker. Can he make plays on defense? Yeah, sure. You know, if you're going to blitz him every time or do whatever, put him in position to where he does whatever his skill set is, yes, that's fine. But if he's going to be on the field fulfilling the responsibilities of a linebacker, he's going to fail at it every time. You get what I'm saying? And that's what that is. Scott Turner. Scott Turner is the bottom of the bucket offensive coordinator. This is, I think the word is called cronyism, right? And Ron Rivera spoke on it, right? They're talking to
they were talking to Jack Del Rio and also Ron Rivera. I think they have their sons, both their sons, on staff. Scott Turner is, I think North Turner hired Ron Rivera at one point to be like a coordinator or something like that, and now he's repaying the favor. So that's what that is. Like, it's not one of those type deals where Scott Turner is necessarily deserving of a job. Is the reason why he got hired to to be the Redskins offensive coordinator. He's
you mean nepotism, right? It's nepotism you talking about?
Yeah, nepotism or cronyism or something like that. One of those two. He's a guy that knows the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's not. He seems to me that he's learning on the job how to be an offensive coordinator. He's not. He's not a fully competent offensive coordinator. You're getting blitzed, right? Almost every other play, you're getting blitzed. I think for the first quarter, you're getting blitzed, and you have no hot routes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was bugging me too
insanity.
In the first half. I didn't understand that.
You cannot beat a blitz. So why shouldn't they not blitz? Why should they not still blitz every play if you can't? There's no quick slant. You have Jahan Dotson, who has really good hands. You have all these players who can run, who are really quick in short spaces, but you can't get the ball out when you see that there's 8 guys in the box ready to come. You get what I'm saying? This is insanity. It's incompetence from the offensive coordinator. For all the guys that think that, Jack Del Rio is like the worst ever, listen, that's not the case. We can do a whole lot worse than Jack Del Rio. I can't make up any excuses for how the defense played. Swift is actually a top running back. If you guys didn't know that, he's actually one of the best running backs in the league. He did his thing. Yeah. Amon St. Rock. What was it? Amon Ross St. Johnson, or whatever his name is.
Yes, sir.
I never heard of this. I never heard of this guy. I heard of him the week leading up to our game. And everybody's saying that we got to watch out for this guy. Louis T, everybody's saying we got to watch out for this guy. We got to watch out for this guy. And so when we play the game, he goes off, even though he's probably the only weapon that they have on their team outside of Swift. There's just a St. Rock guy, and he just goes off. The leading rusher, the leading scorer, the leading receiver. This is this is the one bad thing about Jack Del Rio. And they asked the media asked him a question about this last year, about him paying respect to certain players on other teams, like a little bit extra respect to make sure they don't take over the game. And he was like, he says he doesn't do that. And we're seeing the repercussions of that.
Yeah, we seeing that.
You have to pay attention to the guys that they need to get the ball to in order for them to function. They don't have anybody else on the offense. Swift was hurt. He was playing hurt. He only got the ball 5 times. People don't understand that. They were playing with a backup running back, a backup offensive line, and 1 wide receiver, and they did it to us. You know what I mean?
Bad.
Listen, Adam Hutchinson, he's gonna win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and when he wins that, his whole highlight tape, or at least 50% of his highlight tape, is gonna be Commander's footage. It's gonna be Commander's footage. Every play, every down, it was insane, man. What else I got? So yeah, listen, man. I hate to be the negative guy, man, but our draft, I was laughing at all the optimism after the draft, this past draft. Brian Robertson was our best pick. All these guys talking about Jahan Dotson. Listen, I like when we score. I don't care who it is that gets that touchdown. But let's not lie to ourselves and start talking like this guy is mossing dudes in the end zone. He's doing Stephen Smith type stuff. That's not what's going on. A couple slants, bad coverage, you catch the ball, okay, cool. Cam Sims could do the same thing. Andre Carter could do the same thing. We cut. Well, no, was it DeAndre Carter?
You talking about the Chargers?
So we let him walk. He was a Pro Bowl player. We let him walk. Now we don't have a punt returner or kickoff returner, and we burnt the first round pick on replacing them. or not necessarily replacing them, but thinking that we were upgrading the wide receiver position, which we did, but not to the extent that you burn a first-round pick when you need other positions. You could have took that first-round pick and traded back again and got a linebacker and something else. And then on top of that, listen, all right, so our fans are insane. These guys do not understand football. These guys are talking about trade Deron Payne. The whole offseason was trade Deron Payne offseason. There were so many fans that were angry at Ron Rivera for not trading Deron Payne, not knowing that Deron Payne is literally our best defensive lineman. And you could possibly say that he's our best defensive player, which is not saying much, but he's still our best defensive player. I don't care that Jonathan Allen had the greatest season of his career last year. Listen, watch his entire career. Watch Jonathan Allen's entire career, not just one season. Watch Deron Payne's entire career, not just any one season. Deron Payne is our best defensive player, our most consistent defensive player. There's nothing Fedarian Mathis could do that's better than what Deron Payne does, period. That's not how this works. Deron Payne is our best run stopper. You know what I mean? Now he's getting sacks. He's got a sack last game. He got a sack the first game.
Yeah, too.
Yeah. So we went and drafted Fedarian Mathis to replace Tim Settle. You know what I mean? To replace Tim Settle that we let walk out, to replace Matt Ioannidis. Like, you see, like, the recurring thing, this player personnel problem that we're having, where we're just bleeding all our best talent. Trent Williams walked. When we replaced him with nothing. We let the other lineman walk. I don't even remember the guy's name for the Jags. What did we replace him with?
Oh, Brandon Sheriff.
And now we don't. Yeah, and now we don't have an offensive line. We do not have an offensive line. You get what I'm saying? Like, and man, I can go all day, man. It's too many wasted picks. Is what's going on. There's too many wasted picks. Jamie Davis is a wasted pick. I like Jahan Dotson, but to be honest with you, and I don't mind being wrong, but as it stands right now, as I see it, Jahan Dotson was a wasted pick. Fedarian Mathis was a wasted pick, not because he's hurt, but because you're picking a defensive tackle at second round. You know what I mean? You're picking it. We don't have an offensive line, and you're picking a defensive tackle at the second round. Okay, cool. Now, you know what I'm saying? B-Rob was our best pick, and he got shot. So now we don't even have our best player on the field, our best player from this class. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's crazy. This is typical Redskins stuff. It's a combination of factors. Yeah, it's a combination of factors. Like worst case scenario, it's like a storm, right? So Ron Rivera is horrible at player personnel, but he's a good coach, right? But on top of him being horrible at player personnel, now all of our picks are hurt. You know what I mean? And then B-Rob gets shot. Like this is crazy. You can't make it up, man. That's all I got, though, man.
But I appreciate that, VA Money Group. Make sure you call back next week if you can. Hopefully it's after a win, man. These Eagles about to be tough, though.
Hopefully, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me bring on the next caller. We got my boy Spencer. How you doing over there, Spencer? Spencer, you there?
Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's
yes,
up,
sir.
Rico?
What's good, man?
My supposed to hear cars. I'm gonna walk, but
you good?
Hey, Rico, we aspirined ourselves again.
Got too excited. A little too excited.
We did it again. I don't even want to speak on the game because, well, what's the point at this point? I feel like everybody's got all the good points out. You know, what last dude said about Ron and Scott, bro, that couldn't have hit harder. Scott Turner, the whole first half, is out here running motion and screen and all this complicated shit. Like dude before said, you could run a slant. They're 10 and 8, run a slant. So at this point right now, you got a team that's refusing to get better at all. We're hurt more now. We're about to start Tyler. What's our backup? Is it Larson, right?
He's on the PUP list. Technically, it's Wes Martin or Wes Schweiss is hurt too, so I guess it's Wes Martin. Sadiq Charles.
So the line was looking already bad last week. Now we got our second best offensive lineman out right now.
Yeah.
Outside of Leno.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to
I mean-
consistency, yeah, losing Chase Relay is huge.
Rico, I put $100 bet on us this weekend. I was confident.
I was too.
confident.
I'm not gonna lie, I was confident too.
When I saw the reports of Amani Warrior out, I'm like, oh, Terry's about to go off. We're about to go off.
Hey man, I thought
Next week we'll-
their offensive line was hurt as well. I thought we was about to go crazy.
No, we Ashburn. I'm looking at a 6-win season right now, Rico. We got to hit the call to Eric Bieniemy now. That's the next step.
It's still
the next
crazy
step.
to me that he's not a head coach somewhere. It is like amazing that Eric Bieniemy is still not a head coach.
It's got to be the next step. Ron Rivera has to be fired. Nothing's gonna change. The whole staff needs to get blown up because our team we're not a bad team. You have a couple holes on this roster. Sure, you're missing linebackers. The corners are playing like complete booty. Besides St. Juice.
Yeah,
St. Juice is our best corner right now.
Yeah.
He's our best corner right now. I'm missing Troy Apke at this point. Like, that's a joke. No, no, I'm worried, man. We got a lot of money spent on players that aren't producing for their contract. It's other teams. You see them get these value deals and all these good deals where players are on $5 million contracts getting good play, and William Jackson's out here slipping in the red zone.
Yeah, just making $10 million a year to fall.
Hey Rico, give the stream your little prediction of next week, the Eagles game.
It's ugly. I'm gonna have to look at tape. Because before I do my previews, I try to do them by Thursday. I try to look at as much tape as possible, especially like on the opposing team, like the Eagles. So we'll see, but I'm not very optimistic. The Eagles look really good. I mean, what they did to the team that did that to us already, that direct comparison, what they did versus the Lions versus what we did versus the Lions, not very optimistic about next week.
I was shocked because I'm like, all right, our D-line's better than the Eagles, right? Like, Derek Barnett got hurt. They have old Brandon Graham. I'm like, our D-line's better than them, right? Nope.
I thought.
Nope.
They didn't play like it. On paper, you would think, but they didn't play like it.
You want to hear something even worse is we play the Giants. We're going to have to verse Saquon.
Yeah, man. Him healthy is scary right now. He's running all over people right now.
I hate to be the guy, but we might be last in this division by the end of the year.
I hope not, because that would be an immense disappointment based on the expectations coming into this year. Ron Rivera being in his third year, that would be really ugly. Really ugly.
Do you think we need to blow it up or no?
I don't know. I still want to see. It's so many things that we're like average at and certain things that we're bad at to where it's just like, I don't know if we could just kind of cover it up or if we need to blow it up. I don't know, man. I'm going to wait till the end of this year to really see what we need to do. But it's definitely looking like the Keeley Ringo to the Commanders in the first round is looking like it may potentially be a real thing, or a middle linebacker, because, boy, we need them.
Hey, we get them Georgia boy.
Yes, sir, man. Bring some winners on board. Bring some winners.
We got to. No, we're not getting Will Anderson, but.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's top two. That's top two, the very least top three pick in the draft, easily. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. What were you about to say?
So we could easily be 0-2 right now.
Yeah, that is kind of scary. Then again, what we did to the Jaguars and what the Jaguars did to the Colts, are the Colts that bad, or like I don't know?
Oh, Carson Wentz is winning right now. He's looking at Matt Ryan. He's like, yeah, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
That's what the Colts get. That's what they get, trying to put it all on Carson Wentz like it was all his fault. Now look, they're even worse without Carson Wentz. Like literally went back a few steps. Some people thought they may be one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Now look at them. Couldn't even score a point against the Jaguars. But
without Pittman, nothing.
But man, I appreciate that.
Last little wrap up.
Oh, were you about to say?
Thank you, Rico.
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
Last little wrap up. Thank you, Rico. You
Appreciate it.
Best man out here doing it.
Thank you.
And stay up, bro.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Definitely call back next week if you can.
I got you.
Yes,
Have a good one.
You too, man. You too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before we bring back the next caller, did not want to forget to shout out my boy, Carl Mitchell, for the donation. Per usual, Carl Mitchell always pulling up the donations, man. Appreciate that big time. Just had an emoji, didn't even have anything specific to say. But you did say before this game was a learning experience. I do agree with that. You know, we ain't in trouble since we scored 27 in the second half. The offense has so much potential. I'm planning on doing a video on that. I may do it tomorrow where I'm breaking down a lot of the advanced statistics and things that happen in this game. This offense has explosive potential, has top 8 offense and NFL potential. But we just have to be better at adjusting. First of all, game planning. We should have came out cooking against the Detroit Lions with their corners hurt and everything. We should have came out cooking immediately. And then when we didn't, we need to be better at adjusting before halftime. This offense has the makings of an explosive offense, but this defense I'm worried about. The offense, I feel like there's certain things we could change. Like you can point like Scott Turner, we should have done this, we should have done that. Offensive line was bad, but we could have done this to adjust to it. But the defense is just so many things going wrong. I don't even know what to fix. The offense, you can pinpoint a couple of things. The defense is just, I don't know. And even special teams, it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't good. And I just don't know if there's like a free agent out there that we can bring in to help. Let me go ahead and bring my boy Command Center into the chat. What's good, my boy Astonishing?
Not a lot this week. I'm going to take this loss solely on myself for jinxing us.
I was excited too
hard.
I was excited.
Hyping us up a little too hard this week. It's all on me. I jinxed this. Sorry, guys. But the O-line, helped me out, with that loss. But it's all on us, me and the O-line. But first off, I just got to say, you guys everybody that hypes up Eric Bieniemy, for me, he's like the offensive coordinator for Peyton Manning. It's like, what's he really doing? Like Eric Bieniemy is. You think those aren't Andy Reid's plays? The offensive mastermind, Andy Reid, with Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and the Cheetah for most of his time. Like, what has Eric Bieniemy done that was so super impressive? Really? So, just want to get that out of the way. You guys talking about that, but I think the worst part of this week was the offensive line, and I just think that's a chemistry thing. Like the center had taken 0 snaps with the quarterback coming into the week. Trey Turner had taken 0 off-season snaps. Like the offensive line just needs to build some chemistry. We're not going good, and outside of that, we're feeling a little problem with the depth on the D-line. That hurt us.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy that people are talking about blowing it up already after one loss to a team. I said all offseason that, hey, the Lions have a ton of talent. You can't pick within the top 5 for the last 20 years and not build a hell of a team.
Good point.
Okay. Like they have all kinds of talent, and they finally got a coach that's not a complete idiot. So I said they were going to be one of the toughest teams we played anyway. Mm-hmm. But I did get a little too hyped after week 1 and kind of put them down a bit because of all their injuries. I thought it was going to be easy. But, man, if Roullier's gone, we should already have been on the phone with J.C. Tretter right now.
Yeah.
Dude was top 5 center in the league last year. He's only I think 30. I mean, he's kind of being blackballed because he's like the NFLPA president. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he would be on a team, and that's the perfect thing for us because Ron's like a player's coach. Bring in a guy that's biggest knock right now is the fact that owners don't like him because he stands up for the players.
Yeah.
Bring in J.C. Tretter right now. And people talking trash about Scott Turner, like, that's crazy, too. Like, Scott Turner moved the ball last year through sheer force of will and his intelligence. We had Taylor Heineke out there and Terry, and then it was just we saw how bad Cam Sims looked. Like he had nothing, and you saw him just move the ball with his brains alone last year. For people to be hating on him is crazy. I think Carson has top 10 talent at least, but he has Carson on pace just through 2 games, a win and a loss, for a record-breaking 5,500 plus yards.
Yeah,
you know,
I had a stat somewhere.
touchdowns. 59 touchdowns. Like, if Carson stayed on this pace, which, I mean, you know, he's probably not going to, but coming out the gates, we're on pace for 5,500 yards and 59 touchdowns. That's the offensive coordinator doing his job. I mean, it's crazy. Like, that was the offensive line just selling out the whole first half. That's all that was.
Sorry to cut you off, but just to update it, I'm going to talk about this in the video. Wentz is second in NFL in passing yards, tied for first in touchdown passes, and then 8th in passer rating. Just to go, but yeah, I'm right with you with the offensive line.
Yeah, and here's a crazy little statistic coincidence I found. This is more on the side of Wentz is better than everybody wants to say. It took Tom Brady 5 seasons as a starter, because he had the first season in play, but 5 seasons as a starter to break 4,000 yards passing. And it took Carson 4 to break 4,000 yards passing. They first broke 4,000 yards when both of them did it. Neither one of them had a 1,000-yard pass catcher. Brady only had 1 1,000-yard pass catcher in his first 6 seasons as a starter. Carson managed to produce 2.
Mm-hmm.
Tom didn't explode as a passer until his 7th season as a starter, when he got Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Carson Wentz has come to Washington in his 7th season to Terry, Curtis, and Jahan. Starting out, he's already got 90 more yards and 1 more touchdown than Tom Brady did in his 7th season back in 2007, the 18-1 season. So I'm not saying Carson is Brady, but if it walks like a goat, I mean, I think we're going to turn it all around.
Same here.
I just blame this all on just the chemistry of the offensive line, and they just came harder. That's all it was.
Yeah, they outplayed us.
Like, yeah, that was just, and we adjusted and played way better in the second half. It was just, we weren't expecting that Dan Campbell punch in the mouth at the beginning of the game, and you know, we paid for it. But I definitely, they need to be on the phone with J.C. Shredder. I think like Linville Joseph to help out the D-line. I love Ridgeway. Ridgeway was like my 3rd nose tackle in the draft. I'm glad we got him, but go ahead and use that up with some experience. You know, we got, who else is out there? There's another good nose tackle out there. Well, there's other good nose tackles out there. I'm not trying to hold you up with all that, but
yeah, I was trying to think of the name with you.
Yeah, there's and linebackers, man. I don't care what the rest of Washington fandom says. Jalen Smith is out there, and he's better than anything we have on the team. Gerard Davis is on the Lions practice squad. Like, these are, like, you tell me those guys aren't worth the roster spots that Bostic and that Mayo are taking up? Like, that's crazy. Like, bring in Jalen Smith and Gerard Davis right now. Kamal Martin's out there. Malik Jefferson's on a practice squad.
Yep.
There's a bunch of Hamza Nasiruddin. He got converted to linebacker. He'd be great for like an early down nickel linebacker, a guy that's not going to get washed out if, you know, like our linebackers are now when they get matched up with a speedy
running back or a slot.
Receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put Hamza out there as an early early down nickel linebacker, and he's going to be able to stick to those guys. Jacoby Stevens is on the Eagles practice squad. That means we can sign him up. He was a wide receiver safety that got converted to a linebacker. Tanner Muse from Clemson, he's on the Seahawks practice squad. Brad Hawkins is on the Patriots. We could steal another Dallas guy with Wanye Thomas. There's tons of guys out there. Ron needs to get out of this. He did it last year. Like, all of the whole fan base was like, we have problems. And Ron said even in press conferences, we have the players that we're going to have for the season kind of stuff. He needs to get out of that and understand that this is year 3 and he's still got some holes, and it's not like a wait till the off season type of thing to fix.
Yeah, please,
So,
please don't just give up on the season and wait till the off season. Go ahead and fix them now. But man, I appreciate that. My boy Astonishing from Command Center. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Washington Command Center. He was the first to have the name. Anything you want to say before you left up out of here as well?
Nah, man, thanks for the time. I'm gonna have a video out later about all those players that are out there that we should be calling, basically.
Bet. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all go check that out. Definitely
Thanks,
get in the
y'all.
chat so they can see your name too. Washington Command Center, my boy, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got my boy Will Austin up next, and then yeah, man, we're chilling with the callers because there's not a lot of guys in line. Like, we're literally down to the last 2 right now, and it's always like one person joins in as the other person's talking, and then by the time we're done with that, it's just been a consistent like 2 people. But yeah, if it was like 10 people in line, I would be more strict. But yeah, we chilling, man. We just cooling. Let me go ahead and bring my boy Will Austin on, and then my boy Joseph is up next behind him. What's good, Will Austin?
Hey, what's good, Rico?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good?
Man, we are taking command of losing. I'm surprised I still have a voice from screaming at the TV yesterday, man. Like,
Man.
the Lions defense, they were all over us. Like, they attacked our O-line, picked us apart, man. Like, it was crazy. Like, it's like they were sleeping the first half. Wentz, it looked like he didn't come to play in the first half. I mean, that safety that they got on that one play when he dropped the ball in the backfield was like, oh, gosh, what's going on? Then I was like, where's the defense from last week? And somebody please get him a call, because it was like they weren't stopping plays. I mean, like, it was just crazy, like how everybody was breaking through the tackles and getting into the red zone, and they weren't like stopping the ball, like couldn't get interceptions. I mean, like, they would drop the interception if they did have it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what's the problem? I mean, they picked us apart. We looked terrible yesterday. And I'm like, why do we have Dax Milne? I'm like, why is he still here? Like, why, Rico? Why do we still have him? Like, and for, like, special teams, like, it's just madness. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sick and tired of us picking up, like, these washed-up QBs, man. Like, how we had Fitzpatrick, Fitzgerald, and then, Fitzpatrick. And then how now we got Carson Wentz, and it's like, can we just, I don't know, can we just get it together with the quarterbacks? And it's like coaching lost us that game yesterday. I think Del Rio and Turner need to go. Like, a lot of those plays and everything, I think, yeah, they need to go as far as that. And because if we play like we did yesterday, and even how we played some with the Jaguars, the Eagles are going to blow us out next week. I believe they're going to blow us out. And then we got the Cowboys after that. And they won last night. And it's like the Giants are like 2-0. And yeah, and the Ravens lost to the Dolphins. I'm like, what is going on this year? We're like, I don't know. This season, it's like crazy, man. Like, and how the Cardinals came back and won yesterday. We got to get together, man, if we're going to even try to have a good season. I mean, sure, we got like a better schedule this year. They finally gave us like some teams we can kind of like, you can look at, but like, okay, yeah, we can probably win, like with the Colts and all that, and the Raiders. But if we play like we did yesterday, we going down. We're going to sink like the Titanic. That's, I mean.
Yeah, no excuses.
We got to get on the same page. Yeah, there's no excuses. Like, we should have won it. We should have, like, I mean, we should have ate them alive yesterday. Like, I mean, 100% everybody. We really should have got them swift. We should have stopped them yesterday. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So, I mean, that's all I really had to say. Like, I mean, I saw like your coverage and how you talked about the game yesterday, and I was like agreeing with everything you said. Like,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. And keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it. My boy Will Austin, man. Thank you for calling up. Call in again next week if you can, man. Hopefully it's after a win so you don't sound as sad. Yeah, but
Exactly, man.
It's a sad week after an L, man. Especially an L like that. The way, it's not just the fact that we lost, it's the way we lost, man.
It is. It is, and it's sad. We shouldn't have lost like that. I mean, it's like they picked us apart. It's like they came to play. They were hungry. They came to play. Yeah. So, we got to get it together.
Man, appreciate that, Will Austin.
Yep, no problem. Yep, I'm going to watch this Eagles and Vikings game. So.
Oh, it's not looking good. Eagles up 14-0 right now. They just hit a deep ball.
I know. Yeah, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. We can't have this next week.
Can't. It will get ugly quick against the Eagles, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Definitely call in next week if you can, my boy.
Okay, sure will. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bring on my boy Joseph. How you doing over there, Joseph?
What's up?
My boy made it. We went all the way through 9 p.m. My boy made it.
I feel you. Thanks, guys. Hey, I just wanted to get this out of my mind. Dan Campbell really ate our kneecaps, yo.
Boy.
He ate our kneecaps. He even ate more than that. I ain't gonna hold you. It was like 22-0. Didn't think that he was gonna catch up, but we made it a game in the second half. But that was probably because they was like, all right, let's bring it a second team or something like that. But yeah, that was rough. And
not fun.
Yeah, like I was saying since the beginning of the season, fire Coach Del Rio, and maybe we should get either Rex Ryan because he had a good defense, Mike Zimmer because when he was on the Bengals, they had a pretty top 5, top 10 defense, or we could promote Chris Harris.
That's an option.
Yeah, those will be very good options because our defense is not supposed to be giving up 30 points a game. With all that talent.
All them first round picks.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Like Jonathan Allen is like he's asking answering questions that he knows that he's not supposed to answer because it's like he's sad too because he knows that the defense should be doing better, but he doesn't want to blame it on Coach Del Rio and the scheme. It's just sad.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's not gonna throw people under the bus.
And the reason why we have Dax Mills is because they wanted originally for AG to be the special returner, but Brian Robinson got shot. So once we get Brian Robinson back week 5, God willing, or week 6, then AG's gonna be in the return.
I hope so.
Kickoff and punt. We gonna be running. We're gonna be running. But hopefully that happens successfully. And I don't know if the defense is really gonna change unless we fire Jack Del Rio because they keep saying that Chase Young is gonna have a major impact when he comes back. Is he really? Because the scheme is still going to be the same if Chase Young comes back. So it wouldn't really make a difference. It's just an extra first round pick that we have back. And I really hope that Chase Roulier is not out for the season because if we have to start Wes Martin at center, you're kind of doing it.
Yeah, it's ugly. It has to be a free agent before this upcoming draft against the Eagles. It can't be Wes Martin. It's not John Toth on the practice squad. There's literally no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Before you go too, how you doing fantasy this week? Because I know we're gonna probably talk about it this upcoming Friday on the draft. But before you go, did you win? You doing well in the fantasy?
I took an L. It's because I didn't join the draft. It's because I didn't join the draft. I didn't join the draft, which means that the auto drafted for me, but I'm making do for what I have. But James Winston is trash, and I'm probably gonna replace him. And I'm looking for the right person to replace him with.
Hey man, stick around them waiver. You gotta become a waiver wire warrior when you're not one of the guys that drafted. Waiver wire warrior, man. You gotta be a waiver wire all-star out there. You gotta be Phil Jackson of the waiver wire, man. You'll figure it out though. But yeah, man.
But shoot, I won this week. Thank God for Jalen Waddle.
Oh yeah. Hoo-wee, boy. That whole Miami offense.
If Rich is listening, let me get Tua Tagovailoa. He already has another quarterback. Let me get Tua Tagovailoa. if you're listening, Rich.
I don't think he's there. You might have to hit him up on Friday. He'll probably be there Friday. But man, I appreciate that, Joseph. I appreciate you pulling up and everything. I'll catch you on the Friday broadcast stream.
Yeah, all right. Take care, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
You too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so let me answer first of all, what's good, Smokes? I didn't see you at first. What's good? People hate on the D-line that was already thin, losing 2 starters and had to play like 30 minutes in the first half. It's a good point. Offense was so bad, the defense was out there getting tired to a certain extent. And I mean, I was still expecting them with the backup O-line for them to be more dominant than they were. Like I was expecting Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne to be better and more impactful. But yeah, like the depth is shot right now. The depth is non-existent. Hopefully John Ridgeway is ready to step up because we're gonna need him at the very least being a space eater. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody that pulled up to the stream. I will catch y'all Friday probably with the broadcast podcast, but who knows, I may live stream before that to do another call-in show just to, give everybody some time to rewatch the game and maybe come with some second thoughts. Not sure though. It may just come out of nowhere. It may just be on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Who knows? So just be on the lookout. But more than likely, I'll catch y'all Friday with the broadcast podcast, and of course Sunday again when we play the Eagles, the during the game live stream for that. So I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Shouts out to everybody that donated. Shouts out to all the channel members, and a special shouts out to all of the callers, man. I appreciate all of y'all calling in, keeping the show going. I really appreciate y'all. And man, I will catch y'all tomorrow with some videos. I'm trying to get back to putting out 2 videos a day. I was out here doing like 2-3 videos a day, went to New York, and then since I've come back, it's been like 1 video a day. I've been busy, but I'm gonna get back to it. So we're gonna get back to like 2 videos a day. I'm gonna try to do 2 tomorrow. Need to get some film sessions done. I wanted to do some last week. Definitely gonna try to get some done this week. So man, I will catch y'all Friday broadcast. I will call on live stream wise, and I will catch y'all tomorrow as far as videos. So we need this dub next week, man. Joe, I'm right with you, man. We do need it, man. Take care of you as well. Malcolm Brown, Danny Shelton, Linval Joseph. Yes, sir, man. There's options out there. There's options. But we got to figure out that this center thing is the part I'm most afraid of, because right now Wes Martin is our starting center. Wes Schweitzer still hurt. Tyler Larson's on the pup list. He can't even return till week 5 at the earliest, and I don't even love him as a player. Then you have John Toth on the practice squad. It's ugly. We need to figure that out first and foremost. And the Vikings are trying to make this a game. They just scored. So I mean, right now their defense can stop the Eagles to save their lives right now. But it would be really nice if the Vikings find a way to come back. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody. Catch y'all later. Shouts out to Scotty. Shouts out to Mr. Jones, Smokes. Catch all of y'all later, man. I would love to bring in JC Treader. That just seems like such an obvious move. I don't think we're gonna make it. All right, Calvin, appreciate all of y'all, man. I will catch y'all tomorrow with some videos and Friday with another live stream. Yes, sir.